Hello everyone, Jeana with Hollywood Haunter. This is our official daytime walkthrough with commentary. I'm going to take you inside the yard and show you in finer detail all of the elements that it took to put this whole thing together. Hopefully it answers some of your questions. I know our earlier on building the videos may have skimmed through some of this stuff really quickly, so I'm gonna try to take it and break it down and answer some of those questions for you. Alright, let's go check it out. So here is the fence portion that's in the front of the house. And basically, these pickets we got at Home Depot. You can buy them in a bundle. I think it comes with 12 of them in a stack. And I think we paid $7 and we got about 4 stacks of them, I think. And then what we did to save time and money is we aged them by breaking them in half, and then by doing that we were able to take other sections and spread them out like this piece right here. These pillars right here are just plywood with a plywood cap, and that's just painted brown with a white dry brushing. The leaves you see on there, we have green vines in the backyard, and I cut a bunch of them. I wrapped them around and then just let them die. Then these larger vines right here, our neighbor across the street has a tree that used to have a bunch of ivy on it, and it's dried and it falls down from time to time, or sometimes I'll go and pick a little bit off. But it's nice when you can have little elements and details like this. And what happened is I just went ahead and painted them and dry brushed them, and then when we stuck them on here, Chris took the grinder and grinded a couple sections, and then I just went back with the brown paint. This fence was a lot of fun to do because there was no wrong way to do it. And we tried to get creative with the planks that we put on there. So there's that whole side. What's really neat about the way we did it this year is on the back side, it was great storage for our lighting and our sound. And what's also really cool is these light bulbs are new LED light bulbs, and that's a plastic casing around it, so none of the little kids could hurt their hands if they ended up touching it. And it's also nice because if we needed to adjust it somehow, we could just take the bulb right out. So there's the back side of that fence. We added a little gate to this part right here, and it's not really attached with hinges, although we added some old hinges right there and right there. And I think that's just screwed in, and so then did the same thing with this side of the fence. Just added some detail along there. This was a fun one to do right here. I wanted to make it look like maybe one of the kids had squeezed their way through there and some of the planks had fallen down, and we just really attached this by screwing them together or stapling them, air nailing them in there. So there is the fence. Now we're gonna go inside, and I want to show you, have all of these trees right here. I'll go in and show you and talk about those. Alright, so let's talk about the landscaping a little bit. I brought in a bunch of mulch, actually about 2 or 3 truckloads from Griffith Park. We get free mulch, and I wanted it to look landscape this year, so it was perfect, and it was free. I put a bunch of these foam rocks in that we got donated to us, which is pretty cool. And these were actually the rocks that were in the mine shaft last year. Then I have about, let's see, I don't know, 12 or so, maybe a couple more of these little stick trees that I planted in there. And these ones are staked in the ground. You can see the little stake right there, and then zip tied. And what's nice is you can cover it up with a leaf. And what you probably would have never guessed is I had a bunch of dry plants, and they came in those little you know, trays that you get from the garden center. So that I planted a bunch of those in there, but you can't really tell because it's so dry. But that was something that I did. If you were to really get down there, like here's one that you can see. More rocks, tons of leaves sprinkled throughout. And to go along with our storyline, I have a bunch of balls and toys sprinkled throughout the yard. Also, our breathing grave is right here. And it's supposed to be just a big leaf pile, just mounded up. Then we have our big, tall, spooky trees with the crows in there. And on this side, you can see the string right there, because our kite got tangled in it. And that was a really fun detail to do this year. And with these big trees for the landscaping, I went ahead and dropped a bunch of little branches around too. And again, the mulch is really nice because you can cover all kinds of wires. And there's a ton of wires going around. And these walls are nice too because they blocked off the sides and kind of made a frame, and we were able to store our sound, lightning lighting, and the crow sounds back there. And it's masked from the front, so you can't even tell. There's another Nerf ball. So here's the left side of the house. And this is what's in the back corner for people who came back here. We have some bones buried in the mulch. We have an axe, a snake, and a rat. Then we have our little rat box in our wood pile. We have a moving trash can, an old push mower. Those are old tomato plants that I just vined around. Put over there. We used to have an air cannon back there, but we actually moved it to a better scare up on the porch. Here's some more landscaping. These are little bushes that I got from the nursery. And again, we can hide cords under there, which is really nice for our lighting, because then all you have to do is just stick your lighting out and you don't see a bunch of cords running through them. Over here, an old vine, some kind of ivy wrapping around the porch. and a bird cage. I'll go in there and get a closer view for you guys. So here is this side of the house, and I just stapled those going up, and what I did is I painted the staples white before I put them on so it wouldn't be so noticeable. Let's see if I can find one. Let's see, will it focus? There you go. There's an old stand that my pet cemetery was used for. There's another ball, and that ball helped knock down this poor bird cage. But it's too bad because the bird inside was already dead. Wahahaha! That bird cage was a lot of fun to do. That was a black bird cage that I rusted. Now this chain right here is just white plastic chain, and I made it have a break on the end, and that break continues down there. And of course some leaves piled up here, and then you can look off down there. We didn't really let people up on this side of the porch, but here's a skeleton and a coffin up there. He's got yellow glowing eyes. Curtain. Alright, one more side view of this side. It's just a curtain up there on the side of the house. So there's that side. Alright, so I went ahead and brought you guys over to this side of the yard so you could see the landscaping. It's pretty much the same as the other side. Just a bunch of mulch, the trees, some rocks, another ball. Here's the fountain. It's our ghost fountain that shuts on and off. It's a motion sensor that's in the tree right here. And whenever anyone walks past it, it goes off. Again, this is carved out of white foam, and it's painted with grays, browns, creams, and greens. Have to fill water up in this puppy all the time. It's just a little kiddie pool inside there. And those are real pond plants. And these ones right here are plastic from the hobby store. And of course we put a pumpkin right there.